Okay, good morning, dear students, and welcome back to these video tutorials that I'm doing for you to finish the program that we have started in class. So today I'm going to speak about chapters 14 and 15 of our textbook. And these chapters, as you know, they deal with gerunds and infinitives part 1 and gerunds and infinitives part 2. So we have already dealt with the other chapters in the class, and we continue with 2 chapters on models part 1, part 2 via online course. And today we continue the last two, the last two lectures on gerunds and infinitives, part 1 and part 2. And I hope that you are enjoying this experience of having things online and doing the activities online. I know it's not 100% as good as it should be, like we do in our classes, where you can ask questions, where you can have the teacher in front of you. But I think I have done my best to do the same thing as I usually do in class. I'm always in contact with you, and I try to answer your questions as much as possible. So in this tutorial today, this lecture, I'm going to be very brief and summarize for you the chapters 14 and 15 on gerunds and infinitives. And for further details, you need to refer to the textbook, of course, okay? In addition to that, you need to do the activities and the exercises that you have to in the textbook or online, where you can have the automatic correction for you so that you know what you have done right and when you have done wrong. So this is it. I'm going to be sharing with you. I'm going to share with you now this slides, okay? And I hope it will work. Oh, good. This is it. So as you can see, these are the slides that I'm going to explain for you in this lecture today. So let's start. Okay. So gerunds and infinitives. So before we go into the explanation and everything, I want you please to take a moment to look at the following paragraph and read it as much as you can. You can pause the video while doing that. You don't have to continue, because for you to read the paragraph slowly and to understand it, you need to pause the video when I show you the paragraph, and then read it slowly as you can, understand. And I want you to focus on the highlighted words for you, okay? I want you to focus on the words. It's a paragraph about a story. It's a kind of story. And you have the picture here. You see the picture of fireman, a rescuer, rescuing a cat. So this is basically the text, the paragraph you will see in the following slide. It's a cat that tries to pull a fast one on firefighters. So it's kind of a stubborn cat that doesn't want to be rescued easily by the firefighters. So there's a kind of nice story. Now, what is important in this story here is that you need to focus on the language used, basically the highlighted words for you. Okay, so this is the paragraph. I'm going to hide my video so that you can see everything. Now, this is the paragraph, please. So pause the video and read it, okay, as slowly as you can. So recently in Florida, a typical cat avoids getting rescued. Story had an unexpected twist. Catching a scared cat is no easy task, as the firefighters from the South Florida city of Weston were well aware, but extracting a kitty from under the frame of a car in heavy rain is even harder. Firefighters tried jacking up the car and taking off a wheel, but the feline was scared of being hurt. She kept avoiding the man. At some point, the cat escaped undetected. This caused the crew to continue searching for another hour. They began by peering into the bushes and scouring a nearby parking lot. The firefighters were used to catching a kitty in a short amount of time. This was taking much too long. Eventually, they gave up trying to find the cat and headed back to the station. So this is the story of our little cat, crazy cat that is fearful, and made it difficult for the firefighters to rescue it. Now, what I need you to focus on, as I told you, is the use of these highlighted words here, okay? So you have these highlighted words. You have getting rescued, catching a scared cat, extracting a kitty, jacking up, taking off, being hurt, avoiding, searching, by peering, scoring, and then to catching up, gave up trying. Now you can notice the common thing about all these words that are highlighted for you and underlined, they are all what we call gerunds. So gerund, as you know, is a verb followed by ing. And when we do this, we have to make a difference between two types of ing forms. There is the ing form that we have in the present continuous and the past continuous, future continuous. I am working, you are running it, etc. So this is different. This ing that you have here in these continuous tenses is different from what the ing that you have in these words. Now the ing here, when we add it to the verb is no more a verb. It becomes a noun. It becomes functioning like a noun. So you can use it as a subject, you can use it as an object of the verb, complement of the verb, you can use it as an object of a preposition, and so on and so forth, as we are going to see in the later details. So all of these, you have gerund forms. It is a verb followed by ing, and when we do ing to the verb, it is no more a verb. It becomes functioning like a noun. So this is the difference between the ing form of the continuous tenses, progressive tenses, and the ing form of the gerund. So all of these are gerunds. So cat, avoids getting, catching, etc. Now let's move on to the details of explaining this. Okay, let me again come back to this video, show you my video, because usually I record without videos. So today I am recording using my video. Now, you see here, a gerund can be used as the subject of a sentence or the object of a verb. Okay, this is what I have just exactly told you when talking about the paragraph. The gerund, it is no more a verb, it becomes functioning like a noun, and we know that the nouns, when they are used, they are either used as subjects of a sentence of a verb, as objects of a verb, or as objects of a preposition. Example, which we are taking from the paragraph, catching a scared kitty is no easy task. So this is catching a scared kitty is no easy task. So you see here that the gerund is used as the subject of the sentence. So here, catching a scared kitty is no easy task. This is the subject. And then the firefighters tried jacking up the car. So here we have the gerund. It is used as object of the verb tried. It is object of the verb tried. Okay, it is complement. Okay, so, and we know that these are the types of functions for which the nouns are used. So this is why it is no more, a gerund is no more a verb. It becomes a noun, function as a noun, as we have in these examples. So, a gerund can also be used as the object of a preposition. The kitty was scared of being hurt. So you see here, was scared of being hurt. So you have the preposition here, and then, okay, you have the gerund afterwards, okay, object of the preposition. So only nouns are functioning as such. only nouns are functioning in this way. Now, this is the explanation where we say that being is object of the preposition. Another example for you is the firefighters were worried about hurting the kitty. Okay, the firefighters were worried about hurting the kitty. So here again, we have a gerund, about, and in this gerund is used as the object of the preposition about, and we know that only nouns can function in this way. So hurting, preposition, object of the preposition, okay? So these are the functions for which the gerunds are used. Example here, this is just a practice test for you. I want you again to pause the video, okay? And do the answers. And then after this, come back to continue the, for the correction, okay? In these sentences, you need to complete the sentence with a preposition and the form of the verb in parentheses. So these are the verbs and you need to put them in the correct form in these sentences. So please pause the video, take your time, write your answers, and then after you are done, come back to have a look at the answers in order to correct yourself. So the answer now, I suppose that you have done that. Let's do the corrections. So firefighters are accustomed to catching cats quickly. Firefighters usually succeeded in rescuing lost cats. They were tired of searching for the kitty. They were worried about hurting the scared cat. After 4 hours, no one would blame the firefighters for ending the search for the kitty. But the firefighters insisted on finding the lost cat. So you can see in all these, we have prepositions, okay? This is a preposition, this is a preposition, and this is a preposition, this is a preposition, this is a preposition as well, and this is a preposition as well. And after these prepositions, we are using gerunds. And we know normally that only nouns can function in this way. So that's why I'm telling you that when you add this ing form here and you have a gerund, it is no more a verb. It becomes like a noun. Okay? Now let's continue. In this paragraph, again, you have a continuation for the story of this cat. And I want you please to read it, pause the video, read it, take your time to read it. And when you are done, okay, focus please on the highlighted words for you. Okay, highlighted words for you, because these are the things we're going to talk about in the following slides. Now, pause the video, take your time, read it as much as you can, okay? Good. Now, I'm not going to read again this paragraph because I suppose you have done it. All I'm going to do is focus on the highlighted words for you, okay? So here we have, were not having a good time, searching, okay? And then had spent a lot of time, spent a lot of time, and then you have trying, okay? Refused, you have this expression which is followed by to budge. Another used a house, to push it. And then you have for bringing. Now here we have, again, a continuation of some of what we have talking about with regard to gerunds. And in this paragraph, we have some expressions that can be followed by gerunds. There are some expressions that can be followed by gerunds. And there are expressions that can be followed by infinitives. Now, what I need to tell you here is that in your textbook, it is full of chapters 14 and 15. It is full of these expressions. You have charts where you have expressions followed by gerunds only. You have charts where you have lists of expressions followed by infinitives only. And then you have charts where you have lists of expressions that can be followed by either gerund or infinitive. And these lists, you need to remember them. You need to remember them because this is the way how it works for these chapter 14 and 15, where you have to remember those expressions, and whenever you have those expressions, you know what to use, either the gerund or infinitive. Now let's explain these slides. So you have ing form follows certain expressions. So you have gerunds, that is to say gerunds come or can be used after certain special expressions. Example, have a good time, have fun. So we have these expressions here. These need to be taken as such. And these expressions, they can be followed by ing form. The firefighters were not having a good time searching for the cat. Okay, so here you have a good time searching. Okay, you see searching here, it is a gerund following this expression, have a good time. The firefighters were not having fun searching. So we have the next expression here, have fun. This is it again, have fun, okay? Followed by a gerund, okay? Followed by a gerund. So these are expressions that you need to remember, okay? You need to remember like this. That's whenever you have them, they are followed by a gerund. ing forms follow certain special expressions, continuation of other expressions. So you have here, for instance, have trouble, difficulty, have a hard time, have a difficult time, plus ing form. So again, these expressions, when you have them, you should follow them with a gerund. Example, they had a hard time trying, okay? You see trying gerund after this expression here, okay? This expression. Next, they had trouble trying to catch the cat. Again, you have a gerund, okay, following the expression, okay, had trouble. So these expressions, whenever you have them, you simply need to put a gerund after them. Next, again, the same way we have some expressions that are followed by gerunds. There are other expressions that can be followed by an infinitive. Some verbs are immediately followed by an infinitive. Example, the firefighters wanted to find the cat quickly. So you see here, this verb, okay, it is followed by an infinitive, okay? It is followed by an infinitive. If you say, you can't use a gerund. Next, the cat refused, okay, refused to budge. And this is a list, an example of the lists that you have in your textbook. So in your textbook, there are plenty of lists like these, okay, like this one, where you have lists of expressions followed by gerunds, lists of expressions followed by infinitive, as we have in here, and you have other lists of expressions that can be followed by either gerund or infinitive. Now, please, I will need to refer you to your textbook, and I'm going to show you examples of what I'm talking about from your textbook at the end of sharing these slides. Good. So, for example, here you have want to, hope to, plan to, like to. All of these, they are followed by an infinitive, okay? They are followed by an infinitive. Good. Now, take please some time to do this little exercise, gerund or infinitive. So you either put a gerund after or you put an infinitive. You pause the video, take your time, and then do the answers, and then come back to get an idea about the answers, correct answers. I suppose you have done it. Let's move to the answers. Now here we have rescuing. We have to use a gerund because we have this expression, had a difficult time, which is normally followed by a gerund. Avoid, seem to avoid, because this special verb is followed by normally an infinitive, okay? Then you have last answer. They were worried about hurting. This expression, worry, to be worried about, you have a preposition, okay? And this preposition is followed by a gerund, okay, as we have seen before. Let's move on. Next part, okay, of another practice for you. Either you use a gerund. Now, again, you also do the same thing. Please pause the video, do the answers, and then come back to have an idea about the correct answers. Let's suppose you have done it, and hopefully you have done it. These are the answers. Okay, to catch, to stop, hiding. So here you have, it required 3 people, okay, to catch. So you required, you have the expressions followed by infinitive. Refused is followed by an infinitive. And then you have, they found the cat hiding, okay, in their own track. You have the verb found, okay. Some verbs can be followed by either an infinitive or a gerund. And here we're going to see an example of those verbs that can be followed by either an infinitive or a gerund with no difference in meaning, okay? Because sometimes you have, you can use both without difference in meaning. Sometimes you can use both, but there is a difference in meaning as you have in your textbook. The crew continued searching for the cat. So here you have continued searching, gerund. The crew continued to search for the cat. In both of these, the same meaning. The crew continued to search or continued searching. So the meaning is that they went on looking for the cat. The same meaning here, okay? So this, you see, continued is one of those verbs where you can use either a gerund or an infinitive without difference in meaning. There is the same meaning, okay? Some verbs can be followed by either an infinitive or a gerund, but there is a difference in meaning. Now, on the other side of this, you have some verbs that can be followed by either a gerund or infinitive, but there is a difference in meaning if you use a gerund or if you use an infinitive. Examples of those verbs are remember, forget, regret, and try. Okay? Firefighters try jacking up the car and taking off a wheel. Okay? Now, let's have a look at these examples. So, firefighters try jacking up the car and taking off a wheel. Now, here you have a gerund after the verb try. Now, what is the meaning? They were able to jack up the car. This is the meaning that you have here when you have a gerund after try. Next example, firefighters try to jack up, the car and take off a wheel. Okay, take off the wheel. Now here, the meaning is that they were not able to jack up the car. They were not able to jack up the car. So when you use an infinitive, this is the meaning that you have. Okay, this is the meaning. When you use a gerund, this is the meaning that you have. And these are two different meanings. So you need to be careful about what type of meaning you have, okay? When you're using either a gerund or infinitive after these special verbs, after remember, after forget, regret, and then try, okay? Some verbs can be followed by either an infinitive or a gerund, but the meaning is different. Same as we have seen in the previous slide. This is another example. Okay, a firefighter said to the cat's owner, I regret to tell you that we couldn't catch your cat. So after they found, sorry to tell you, this is the meaning that you have. Sorry to tell someone bad news right now. When you have regret followed by infinitive, this is the meaning that you have. Sorry to tell someone bad news right now. After they found the cat, the firefighters said, I don't regret spending so much time on the search for the cat. Now, what is the meaning you have here? So you have regret followed by a gerund here. The meaning is that sorry or not about something that already happened. So you see, there is a difference in meaning in the two sentences. Let's do this practice, please, okay? Again, pause the video, take your time to do the answers, as much time as you can, do the answers, and then come back for the correct answers, okay? This is, now, I suppose that you have done it. Let's go for the answers. Now, the first answer is running. We have to use a gerund after went or go. spend too much time, we have to use an infinitive. Remembered searching. They caught the cat hiding, to hide in the fire truck. They tried to find the cat. It's dangerous for cats to hide. So these are the answers. Now, because I think this is the last slide, so this is taken from your book. Okay, taken from your book, Understanding Using English Grammar by Pace. Now, I want to share with you here is what I want to share with you now, the two PDFs, okay? Let's stop sharing this first. Good. Now, what I'm going to share with you at this time is an example of the list that you have in your textbook. I've taken 3 long lists for you, and you need to look at them and remember them, okay? Let me share with you those 3, okay? I'm going to share one by one. Okay, this is the first one. Now you see here, this is the first list, okay? Where you have examples of expressions or verbs followed by gerund, okay, or gerunds. So this is a long list for you. You need to remember these in this way so that you remember that whenever you have them, you use a gerund after that. When you have the stars like this, when you have a star like this, for example, like this, it means that they can be also by infinitive. You can be also followed by infinitive. These expressions like can't, stand, begin, bear, they can also be followed by infinitives. This is what you need to remember. Okay, this is one list. Let me take another list for you. This is list 2. This is list 1. Reference list verb followed by infinitives. This is a list for you here that you have taken from your book. Okay, you have the pages 327. You have verbs followed immediately by an infinitive. Okay, agree, etc. Followed by a pronoun and then an infinitive. Now the same story again. When you have a star like this, it means that they can be also followed by a gerund. Okay, now you need to remember these expressions as they are. Okay, you need to remember them. It's like learning by heart, but you can do learning by heart. Basically, you can do that via exercises. Now, let me see the last slide. There is another slide. Okay, I think this is it. Yes, number 3. Reference list of preposition combinations followed by gerunds. Okay, you have preposition combinations followed by gerund. What do we mean by preposition combination? It means a verb followed by preposition. Apologize for, approve of, acquainted with. These are some of the words, expressions you already know. In addition to, insist on. This is what we mean by preposition combinations. You have a verb or word followed by preposition. They go together. So you have to remember what you should use after them. So in these ones, they are followed by gerunds. Okay? So these are, okay, as I told you, these are this is a summary of the chapters 14 and 15 on gerunds and infinitive part 1 and part 2. Okay, so you have the exercises for you on the online platform that I already shared with you. Okay, and you need to do the exercises, please, and to have the automatic correction for you to help you. If you still have any questions, if you still have any remarks, any comments, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will be happy to answer you. And don't be shy about doing it. Don't hesitate to send me messages, your inquiries. I am always online and try to respond as much as I can. And I hope also that you like these video tutorials and you have enjoyed this experience that I have used with you in order to finish the program of our semester 2 for grammar 2. Okay, and let's call it a lecture, and keep safe and follow your classes and do your best, and wish you all good luck. Okay, thank you very much.